Cheng Kang.
Cheng Kang, also known as Cheng Kang, was an exceptionally talented director born in Shouxian, Anhui. In 1937, he lost contact with his family and left school, possibly influenced by the Japanese invasion of China. His education continued as an intern in a library, where he immersed himself in theater and cinema, shaping his future as a filmmaker. During the Second Sino-Japanese War, he traveled across the country with the Tao Zhixing Theater Company, performing plays with strong anti-Japanese sentiment, reflecting the emotions of those affected by the conflict. In 1942, he joined Ng Yunhui's troupe in Chongqing, and at the age of 24, he wrote his first play, Night Rain in an Empty Garden, which was well received and foreshadowed the success he would achieve in his career. After the end of World War II, he pursued studies in art and design at the Shanghai School of Fine Arts. In 1949, he decided to move to Hong Kong, where he began working as a screenwriter. Shortly after, in 1951, he directed his first Cantonese-language film, Mother and Son in Grief. Cheng Kang spent years as a successful screenwriter for numerous productions before Run Run Shaw recognized his exceptional talent and enlisted him for projects like Sons of the Good Earth, 1965, by King Hu and The Journey to the West series directed by Ho Menghua. However, Kang had a reputation for being a difficult collaborator, often taking a long time to complete his scripts or discarding them entirely if he wasn't satisfied, leading to conflicts with directors. Over time, few were willing to work with him. Acknowledging his creative abilities despite his lengthy process, Run Run Shaw gave him the opportunity to direct his own films, allowing him to bring his stories to life. One of the earliest ventures into action cinema was Gun Brothers, 1968, a film co-directed by Wuchia Xiang, who also contributed to the screenplay. Starring Ling Yun and Tian Feng, the movie is set during the Japanese occupation of China. Ling Yun portrays a charismatic aristocrat by day, who transforms into a masked vigilante by night, reminiscent of Zorro or Indiana Jones. The story opens with a dramatic sequence where Japanese soldiers ruthlessly kill a mother and her child. Shortly after, Chi, the titular gun brother, strikes a Japanese munitions depot, eliminating numerous enemy soldiers. Although the film's intensity doesn't quite match these initial scenes, it remains an engaging action spectacle. The antagonist, Inspector Ma, a Chinese traitor aiding the Japanese, works relentlessly to uncover Gun Brothers' identity. The film introduces intriguing twists, such as the sudden appearance of Chi's identical twin brother, who helps him evade capture. Cheng Kang crafts a lively and entertaining narrative, featuring well-developed characters, solid action sequences, and cleverly placed moments of suspense. Greetings to members Brian Mills, Jawara Karega, Ling Yang Y Rohan Koshin. Tian Feng was one of Cheng Kang's favorite actors throughout his career, appearing in numerous swordplay films directed by Kang, such as The Magnificent Swordsman, 1968, Killers 5, 1969, The Incredibly Violent The Sword of Swords, 1968, and The Grand The 14 Amazons, 1972, his most well-known work. His performances in these films solidified his reputation in martial arts cinema. In this film, Cheng Kang proved that he could go toe-to-toe with Chang Che on his own turf. While Chang Che favored a raw and visceral approach, almost documentary-like in its depiction of graphic violence, Cheng Kang took a more cinematic and stylized route. Rather than portraying violence for its own sake, his wuxia films typically revolved around a central story of a protagonist striving to restore justice and protect his family, giving the narrative a deeper sense of purpose.
裁缝，
真凶，你上了当了，你上！
师弟，辛苦你。
The Sword of Swords, 1968, starring Jimmy Wang Yu and released during the peak of Chang Chea's epic swordplay films, appears to be an attempt to replicate the overwhelming success of One-Armed Swordsman, 1967, or to tap into the popularity of the Zatoichi films, a well-known Japanese series. The story revolves around a legendary sword, forged by a renowned weaponsmith and lost for years. When it is finally recovered during the Ming Dynasty, a prince becomes so obsessed with possessing it that he resorts to deceit and ruthless acts to claim it as his own. Unlike the traditional heroes of Chang Che, Lin Zhenshao, Wang Yu has no interest in earning fame as a swordsman. Even when Fang humiliates him, tries to ruin his reputation with his master, and commits heinous acts against his family, Lin avoids direct confrontation. His character embodies a tortured hero, distinct from Chea's bloodthirsty and fearless warriors, though his ultimate goal remains the same. Cheng Kang excelled in the swordsplay genre, developing a distinctive style that rivaled Chang Chea's. His film The Sword of Swords, 1968, is a great example of his mastery, featuring an intense narrative and visually striking staging. Even Chang Che admitted that Kang never had failures in this type of films, something he couldn't claim for himself. Kang's ability to blend action with suspense cemented his status as a key director in wuxia cinema. Following the tradition of martial arts cinema, and somewhat in contrast to The Sword of Swords, 1968, it is essential to highlight the director's most acclaimed film, The 14 Amazons, 1972. This movie earned him the most prestigious award of his career, the Golden Horse for Best Director. In The 14 Amazons, 1972, the legendary Yang family, steadfast protectors of China's northern frontier, faces a devastating crisis. The tragic fall of General Yang Tsungpao in battle against the Mongols leaves the family without its last male heir. In response, Shi Taichun, the grand matriarch of the Yangs, takes command and assembles an army composed primarily of courageous women. Their mission is clear: restore peace and seek justice for the fallen general. Confronting unimaginable challenges, these warriors prove that honor and bravery transcend both borders and gender. This film was one of Shaw Brothers' most ambitious projects at the time, bringing together a star-studded cast composed mainly of its most renowned actresses, along with some male figures. Initially, the direction was offered to Chang Che, the leading director of the moment, who declined the proposal, stating that he was not used to directing women and that his style did not fit the essence of the film, an observation that proved accurate. After considering various options, the role ultimately fell to Cheng Kang, the screenwriter, who surrounded himself with several assistant directors, although only Tung Xiaoyang received official credit. Additionally, the production played a crucial role in launching the career of Ching Shu-tung, now a well-known choreographer and director, who collaborated on the film's action sequences alongside the seasoned master of the studio, Liang Shu-chung. The 14 Amazons is a wuxia film directed by Cheng Kang and produced by Shaw Brothers Studio. It is based on the historical tale of the female generals of the Yang family, a classic Chinese legend set during the Song dynasty. What makes this film stand out is its predominantly female cast, which was rare for wuxia at the time. The production was massive, featuring grand sets, numerous extras, and a carefully crafted storyline. Cheng Kang dedicated over 2 years exclusively to this project, having not directed another film since The 12 Gold Medallions, 1970. In Asia, the film became a huge success, making waves in China and across Southeast Asia. However, in the West, the reception was quite different. Warner Brothers saw little financial return in the US and in Europe, the film remained largely unnoticed. This might have been due to its traditional wuxia style and strong female lead characters, which didn't align with Western cinematic preferences at the time. Cheng Kang remained active as a director until the early 1980s, working across various genres. He embraced the new wave of thrillers and action dramas that emerged in Shaw Brothers from the mid-70s, directing films such as Kidnap, 1974, The Criminals, 1976, King Gambler, 1976, and The Casino, 1981. He was known for his demanding nature, both with himself and his collaborators. His relentless pursuit of perfection led him to instill strict self-discipline, a trait he passed on to his son, Cheng Shu-tung. Cheng was obsessed with achieving flawless productions, a characteristic that defined all his films, regardless of genre or theme. In 1980, Cheng Kang left the Shaw Brothers production company in Hong Kong and moved to Taiwan to further his career, directing films for various companies and establishing his own studio, and Hui Film Company. However, as the 1990s began, his presence in the film industry gradually faded until he virtually disappeared, directing only a few films, including Wolf Smoke and *Gambler's Soul.